Hey, we're here with 1020. We wanted to talk to you a little bit about Toolbox. So not necessarily this kind of toolbox, but the kind of tools that we have. So in a toolbox, you might have a hammer and screwdriver and pliers and drill and all kinds of things in your toolbox. We have tools in our toolbox, right? That
Yes, we do.
we use for property management. So when we're doing property management, there's a lot of tools needed. It's like, so if you trust us with your property, first thing we're going to do is start marketing it, right?
Yes.
So we put a lot of effort into marketing. We also, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to try to establish a good rent, right? So you're going
Yes.
to, so we have some tools that search the market. They tell us what the rents are in an area. So we know what they are. We're not just relying on what the MLS says because everything's not on the MLS. But we have a tool that tells us the rents that are all around us.
Yes. We look that up, but we also go through all of the properties that we may have personally in the area, and we go through all of it to find the very best price.
So you use your experience.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and that's the good thing. We've got property managers who are very experienced. They have, 10 to 20 years worth of experience managing properties and looking after properties. So they know they have a feeling about what's the right rent,
We do.
like that kind of thing. So even though the market may, so when we do a search around the properties close to us, it tells us various rents. Could be that when you go to look,
Yes.
the property is better than what the others are around it, or it could be that they're not quite as good, or it could be that they're right at fall in line.
Yes. So when I'm talking to someone on the phone, I always get as much information about the home as I can. And then I go back to see if there are any pictures somewhere from when they bought it. But I always ask if I can go ahead and come by, make an appointment with them so that I can see their home in person, meet them in person, but do a tour so that I can give them a fair, good price, because may not compare to the ones in the neighborhood or even the one next door or whatever, but we want to make sure we have everything that we need to give them the very best price.
So we found sometimes people maybe are undervaluing their property
Yes, we
because
do.
they've rent values have gone up just like home values have gone up. So rent values have gone up, but they may not realize how much
No.
the rent has gone up, or they may we all think whatever we have is better than what everybody else has. So sometimes they overvalue things, and we have to be realistic
We do.
right. And
Our goal is for the property not to sit very long vacant. And the way to do that is to make sure that the pricing is in line with everybody else.
And when you look through the property, sometimes you find some things that, hey, you need to do this if you really want
Yes.
this if you really want to maximize your rent.
Yes, and that is also another good reason to do a walkthrough to the home, because I can give them the few little things that they might want to do beforehand. That way it saves them money instead of the tenant getting in and pointing out things that they could have done themselves.
And I've noticed you're very good at that. You guys are very good at scrutinizing the property and giving people good advice in a positive way.
Yes.
Okay. So once you got so let's say they go ahead, they say, we trust you to market our property for us. So, and we put it out there. We put it out everywhere, right? We put it
Yes.
out everywhere under the sun, from Facebook to Zillow to all the websites that are out there, so on and so forth. So we put it everywhere under the sun. So we get tenants that make application, and then what do we do? And so,
Well, what we do is once we start getting those applications in, and those applications are very thorough, it asks a lot of questions, a lot of details and information for us to go and dig. Well, not dig too much, but they run the screening. We get their credit, their background check. It also will verify their income and employment. And then we go to the next step of getting their rental history.
So that's another big part of our toolbox, right?
Yes, it's a very important one.
We've got some really good tools to screen tenants. If we get a good tenant, then we're not going to have many headaches, and probably the owner's not going to have many headaches.
Nope.
So it's very important that we get a good tenant, and we're going to put a lot of effort in that, and we have the tools to do that. that
We
right?
do. We want someone to come into your home and love it the way that you did, to take care of it, but also pay the rent on time and do all the things that are required.
And so we can do a deep dive now, much
Yes.
more than we have
Yes.
in the past. We can get really deep. My understanding is you can verify their payroll. You can
Hmm.
verify all the things that they, people will tell you anything. So, what
Yes.
we can do is verify those things, and
Yes.
between experience and tools, we're really good at that. Would you
Yes.
agree?
This screening process will even let us know if the pay stubs that are submitted are real or not.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so we got the property. We found a good tenant. They want to move in. Before we move in, what are we going to do? We're going to do what?
Move-in inspection.
That's right.
So we already have the original pictures that we use for marketing, which is great.
Yeah.
But then we do the move-in inspection. So Scott, he is with us and he does all of those for us. He's a retired fireman and also a licensed real estate agent.
That's a big deal because he knows he kind of knows something about the house. It's not like we just got somebody walking around doing whatever. We got somebody that actually knows about a house and in from various aspects. So he knows about safety. He knows about how a house should look to
Yes.
show properly, et cetera, like that. So we got somebody that knows what he's doing first of all, and then he
Yes.
goes in with the inspector and he does what?
He takes still photos of every room, important things like opening up the cabinets and the microwave and different things like that. But then he comes back and he sets up for the 360 photos. It will take a picture, it scans the entire room, ceiling, and everything. And so that is there for us. It's good for us. It is good for the tenant and it's good for the owner. That is going to be uploaded so that when the tenant gets ready to move out, we can refer back to that to
Somebody
make
says
sure.
there's a hole in the wall. There's always a hole in the wall. Well, we can go back
Yes.
to our pictures and see if that's really true or not. Right.
Yes.
So we don't want to overcharge a tenant. We don't.
Correct.
But we don't want the owner paying for stuff that they shouldn't have paid for. Either.
Exactly. And when you can walk through a house and you see all kinds of things, but then the next time you walk in, you're going to see something else, whether it's good or bad. But this right here gives us the tools that we need to make sure that it is fair in the end when they get ready to move out.
And we do an inspection like
Yes.
we do a 6-month inspection,
We
right?
do.
So we've got it. We think we got a really good tenant, and we feel like we do, and we're keeping up with that kind of thing. But then at 6 months, we're gonna go back in, take a look again, just make
Yes.
sure everything's going like it's supposed to.
Yes.
And again, we've got a good guy to do that, and so we go through and just kind of make sure that it's reasonable. I mean,
Yes.
people have to live. And we're respectful of that, but at
Yes.
the same time, they have to keep the property in a good condition, so
They
the
do.
owner gets their property back in a good condition, right?
Yes, that 6-month inspection is really important because it allows us to take a look of the inside of the home, but also the outside, because a lot of us go in the front door or the garage and we don't go on the other side of the house. So when Scott's there, he does all the way around the house, and there might be a board that's looking a little weird, or a limb that has fallen on that side of the house and maybe no one knows. So those pictures will allow us to go back through all of the photos, make notes, put work orders in if needed, and then also notify the owner, because we're going to email that inspection to them.
Yeah, owners need to know, because I mean, there's always some maintenance on a house. If you own the house, if you're living in it yourself or a tenant's living in it or whatever, I mean, there are things that just go on. Boards do rot.
They do.
Tree limbs do fall,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, like that. These are not necessarily anybody's fault. It's just part of owning a house. There are things that go along, and the more they know it all along, then it's not like a big surprise. They come back 5 years later and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to my house?" Well, it's been lived in 5 years, so there are things that happen along the way.
That's right.
So they know all the way along the way. They know what's up, so on and so forth. So what if we have what if something does need repairing? How are we going to handle that? Have we got anything to handle that with?
We do. We have lots of things. We have tools.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes we use our very own tools. If it's something really simple and we are out and about, we will stop by and take care of that. But the majority of the times we do rely on our vendors, because they are vetted, insured, and we have been working with them for a very long time, so we can stand behind their work. But there are also other ways for us to do our work orders. They do come in through the appfolio, so we can send those to the owners. They see what's going on at all time. And then we look, and in the notes, if the owners have people that they prefer to use, we will then send it to them. Or if they have home warranties, it's assigned there. But if it's something that's not covered by either one of those, then we do refer it to one of our vendors, get estimates.
And there is a time option. I mean, people
yes.
something does, if somebody ain't got any AC in July, something's got to give, right?
Yes.
So
some things can wait, but things like that, if it's cold or hot, I mean, we're here in the South, so it kind of goes all over the place.
Even with that, we have some things that everybody doesn't do, right? We sometimes even supply air conditioner temporary.
We do.
Get people by or whatever we got to do.
Portable units.
We try to take care of people the best we possibly can, knowing that sometimes it's July, it's hot everywhere, and there's air conditioners going out all over the place. Sometimes it takes a vendor a minute to get there. So we try to take care of everybody as best we possibly can, right?
My car has delivered a few heaters and AC units. I really didn't think would fit in the back of the car, but they do. They do.
Well, that's right. That's right. So that's a big deal. All right. So we got good vendors. They're insured. We take care of that kind of thing. What about owners? How they know what's going on with their house? So,
well, we use appfolio, and that allows us to stay in contact with the tenants and the owners in a lot of ways. We have a text line that goes through that they can text us if they happen to call the office and we're not there, or we are on the phone. We can see them calling. We can text and say, give us a minute. We'll do that. But everything is going to go through there to include all of their owner reports, every month statements, any work orders, everything is there for them. They can go into their own portal and pull it up themselves. But if they have issues or have problems and want us to walk through helping them get the items that they need, we can do that. They will have everything that they need for the end of the year when they're filing taxes. Everything's
all
itemized.
Their financial reports, which are a big deal for everybody. That's part of why you do this sometimes, so that you have a house, you can rent it out, you can make money, file your taxes properly, and so on and so forth. So it gives you all the income, outgo, all your expenses. You know what's going on with your house. You know whether you're making money or what's going on. So that's important, right?
That is important.
Okay. What else do we have to tell them? That we're pretty, we've been doing this a long time, been taking care of our people, and we would love to take care of you. That's right.
Take care of you, your property, and your tenants.
Perfect. So it's important. And that's the important thing is it's important that we take care of the tenants and the owners.
Yes.
So we want everybody treated fairly. We want everybody to have a good experience, right?
Yes.
So we work hard to have a good experience. And this is 1020, and we're at one of our properties, and we'd love for you to come take a look at it. And we look forward to talking to you again.